And good morning again, everyone. Welcome back to Morning Musings. My name is Don K. Preston. I am the president of Preterist Research Institute of Ardmore, Oklahoma. And I'm sharing some thoughts in regard to eternal life, life after death. The opponents of preterism, true preterism, covenant eschatology, if you will, say, well, if, as you say, the Lord came in AD 70, then that must mean that life on earth is simply all there is. That this is heaven. And that when we die, we have no further existence. Now, I would like to say, as kindly as possible, that this is simply an illogical concept. I would like to suggest that basically it's a denial that there is even a God. Why is that? Well, in Titus chapter 1, verse 2, Paul said that it was God's desire and God's promise, a promise made before time began, that man would have eternal life. Would you think about that for a moment? In hope of eternal life, which God, before time, promised. So, we have one of two choices. God either promised that man would live on earth forever, which obviously has not come to pass, or perhaps, as an increasing number of scholars are coming to realize, biological death was always a natural part of the human existence. And therefore, it was perfectly natural for man to pass from this realm, and it was God's eternal purpose, promised before time even began, for man to live with him. Now, since it's pretty obvious that man doesn't live forever biologically, since it's also, by the way, very evident that death existed before Adam and Eve sinned, yes, it is evident that death existed before Adam and Eve sinned. That is, physical death existed before that time. Then it's pretty obvious, it seems to me, that the life, the eternal life that God promised before the beginning of time has to be life beyond physical death with Him. Now, does that mean that we do not live with Him now in a spiritual fellowship that has been reestablished as a result of the finished work of Christ? I'm not even suggesting that in any shape, form, or fashion. What I'm saying is, pardon me, that the life that we now receive, the gift of eternal life, Romans 6:23, is given to us now. It's clearly not biological. And when we lay off this physical body as a part of the natural process, we enter into a realm and into the full realization, the full comprehension of that which we possess now. John wrote a very, very short time before the parousia, and he wrote in 1 John chapter 5, 10 and following, "Little children, I have written unto you that you may know that you have eternal life." And this life is in His Son. So here, John focused on the marvelous gift of eternal life. Now, once again, obviously, he wasn't talking about any kind of biological life, because John wasn't far off from dying biologically. But he said, I want you to know that we have eternal life. And this life is in His Son. Eternal life is not outside of the Son, by the way. So when we contemplate, number one, the very existence of God. If God wanted man to have eternal life, which Titus 1 verse 2 says, and if He wanted man to live with Him, which is the constant affirmation of Christ, then since it is an undeniable reality that we will pass from this life biologically, then our life, our eternal life with God, will be fully realized when we pass from this temporary life. If God doesn't exist, then pretty clearly we can't live with Him. But if God exists, and He promised eternal life, and He promised life with Him, that means there's life after death. But you see, the bottom line of all of that is that reality became a reality at the parousia, when Christ came again a second time for salvation. Hebrews 9:28. And as the writer of Hebrews affirms, that parousia was coming in a very, very little while and without delay. Hebrews 10:37. Hey, thanks for joining me for this morning's musings as I continue to share a few thoughts with you. Hope they've helped just a little bit. We'll have more on the flip side. Have a great day and God bless.